Made in America, Sex, Scandal, and the Man Who Built American Apparel. Part 1. The Rise of a Rebel Brand. Chapter 1. From Montreal to Los Angeles, the Genesis of a Vision. Dov Charney, a name synonymous with both audacious vision and spectacular downfall, wasn't born into the rarefied air of Silicon Valley or the hallowed halls of Wall Street. His entrepreneurial journey began in the far less glamorous setting of Montreal, Quebec, in 1969. His father, Morris, an architect, and his mother, Sylvia, a Syrian Jewish artist, instilled in him a unique blend of creative flair and pragmatic ambition. Diagnosed with dyslexia and ADD, young Dov found his focus not in traditional classrooms, but in the bustling marketplace. By the age of 15, he was already navigating the complexities of international trade, importing and reselling T-shirts, a seemingly small venture that would foreshadow his future empire. He learned the ropes, initially buying 50 to 100 shirts at a time, and made a decent profit of approximately $50 per shirt sold, often traveling between the US and Canada by train, gaining first-hand experience in logistics and distribution. The early to mid-1990s marked a pivotal moment in Charney's life and which indelibly shaped his business philosophy. Witnessing the devastating decline of the Carolinas textile industry, a once thriving sector now decimated by outsourcing, ignited a fervent belief in the potential of American manufacturing, a belief that would become the cornerstone of his future success. He saw firsthand the human cost of globalization, the empty factories and shattered livelihoods, fueling his determination to forge a different path. This experience profoundly shaped his understanding of the ethical dimensions of business and became a powerful catalyst for his revolutionary Made in America model. By the late 1990s, Dov had set his sights on Los Angeles, the epicenter of the American apparel industry. Armed with a meager $12,000, he started American Apparel in a small factory beneath the 10 freeway. His initial manufacturing approach relied on subcontractors, a common practice in the industry, but his vision extended far beyond mere cost efficiency. He possessed an unwavering commitment to vertical integration, gradually absorbing all aspects of the production process, from raw materials to distribution. This strategy, though initially challenging, was crucial in achieving his ambitious goals of sweatshop-free production and superior quality. The early years were a testament to relentless grit and determination. He started with a relatively small team, many of whom had previously toiled in the harsh conditions of subcontracted factories, providing them with a radically different model. Charney also established a unique brand identity that differentiated American Apparel from its competitors. While industry standards saw basic T-shirts selling for as little as $1.75, Charney's shirts commanded a higher price point, $3.50, reflecting the superior quality of the materials and the meticulous craftsmanship he championed. He understood that high-quality, ethical sourcing, and a distinctive aesthetic could command a premium in a market saturated with cheap, mass-produced garments. This vision, though initially risky, would ultimately distinguish American Apparel in a crowded marketplace. Chapter 2. The Made in America Revolution, a Contrarian Approach. By the mid-1990s, global outsourcing had become the dominant paradigm in the apparel industry. Companies relentlessly chased the lowest labor costs, relocating their factories to countries like Mexico, China, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, where workers endured abysmal conditions for pennies a day. Charney, however, stood resolutely against this trend, choosing to remain in the United States, even as the cost comparisons screamed against him. He meticulously calculated the figures. Producing a T-shirt in South Carolina might cost around 60 cents, with added expenses for gas, 75 cents, and accommodation, $20. In contrast, Los Angeles presented a significantly higher cost of around $2. This conscious decision was not merely about patriotism. It was a deep-seated commitment to ethical manufacturing and fair labor practices. The challenges were immense. Maintaining a sweatshop-free environment while competing with overseas labor that could produce garments for 50 cents to $5 a day was a Herculean task. The stark disparity in wages, $8 an hour in California versus a fraction of that in Bangladesh, was a constant pressure. The Rana Plaza collapse in Bangladesh in 2013, which claimed over 1,000 lives, served as a chilling wake-up call, described by Charney as a September 11th for the industry, highlighting the catastrophic consequences of prioritizing profit over human lives. Before the garment manufacturing boom, the the poverty rate in Bangladesh was at 70%. After the boom, while there were improvements, the poverty level was still at 40%, with average daily income improving from $1 to $5. 3 million people worked in garment manufacturing in Bangladesh. But Charney's response was not simply reactive, he was proactive, building a business model predicated on rejecting this exploitative reality. Charney's approach to building a loyal workforce was as revolutionary as his manufacturing strategy. He paid above minimum wage, with some employees earning annual salaries of $30,000 or more, leading to household incomes of $60,000. He consciously cultivated a unique company culture, fostering a sense of community and creating a ladder of opportunity for his employees. This commitment to his workforce wasn't just altruistic, it was a strategic decision. He understood that a well-paid, motivated workforce was essential to producing high-quality garments and maintaining his ethical standards. While some viewed his approach as impractical, he believed that his approach was the only sustainable model, leading towards a future where global wages would eventually harmonize, eliminating the need for exploitative labor practices. His manufacturing techniques began to be adopted by competitors, although these companies frequently sacrificed some of the ethical practices that were central to Charney's vision. Chapter 3. Branding and Controversy. Sex sells, but at what cost? American Apparel's marketing campaigns were as unconventional and provocative as its founder. Charney embraced a bold, explicit aesthetic, featuring nude photography and models in various states of undress. These campaigns, while highly controversial, proved remarkably effective, catapulting American Apparel into the public consciousness and driving sales. The brand's social and political stances, notably its "legalize gay" and "trans sexy" campaigns, further fueled its image as a rebel brand, appealing to a specific demographic that appreciated its unapologetic approach. However, they weren't just provocative images for the sake of it. They were linked to the brand's image of celebrating freedom of expression and individuality, qualities that Charney felt aligned with their ethical production model. The inherent tension between American Apparel's provocative image and its ethical manufacturing practices is a critical point of analysis. Did the explicit marketing overshadow the ethical message? While the company undeniably achieved phenomenal success, fueled by its distinctive branding, the question remains whether the overt sexuality of its advertising ultimately undermined the company's larger message of social responsibility. The early 2000s witnessed American Apparel's meteoric rise. By the end of 2005, the company had expanded to 60 stores, and its revenue exceeded $275 million. In 2006, revenues soared past $800 million, solidifying its status as a billion-dollar brand. But the seeds of its eventual downfall were sown within this period of rapid expansion. The balance between its provocative marketing and its ethical commitments began to fray, and the cracks in the seemingly unassailable foundation were starting to show. Part 2. The Fall from Grace. Chapter 4. Whispers and Allegations, the Cracks in the Foundation. The whispers began to circulate, growing into a crescendo of accusations, sexual harassment allegations against Dov Charney. While the exact timeline is complex and contested, it's clear that numerous accusations emerged, painting a disturbing picture of the company culture under Charney's leadership. The nature of the accusations varied, from inappropriate touching and unwanted advances to coercion and emotional abuse. The company's internal responses, or, more accurately, the lack thereof, became a central focus. These accusations, alongside other forms of misconduct, are outlined in 15 separate lawsuits that in total resulted in payout of $6.1 million. The impact on American Apparel's image and financial performance was devastating. The lawsuits, coupled with an SEC investigation into Charney's termination, further tarnished the company's reputation. Sales plummeted, going from 634 last year to 658 this year, a minuscule increase in a company of this scale. This represented a significant decline in a company whose earlier growth had been so remarkable. Internal conflicts and power struggles intensified, pitting Charney against a board of directors increasingly concerned about the company's trajectory and the escalating legal battles. The media played a significant role in shaping public perception, with extensive coverage in outlets like ABC News, The Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, and CNBC contributing to Charney's increasingly negative image and fueling the narrative surrounding his alleged misconduct. Chapter 5. The Ousting and the Aftermath, a case study in cancel culture. The inevitable culmination of the mounting pressures came in 2014, with the board's decision to oust Dov Charney as CEO. The events leading up to his dismissal were complex and fiercely contested, involving an internal investigation, the significant role of Standard General, which acquired a 43% stake in the company, and Charney's own vehement denials of wrongdoing. According to Dov, the board was in a very civilized discussion over what to do after the internal investigation had concluded. Charney stated he had been given an ultimatum by the board: voluntarily step down and relinquish his 27% ownership stake, or face termination and be forcibly removed. The legal battles that followed were protracted and acrimonious. Charney pursued lawsuits against the company and its investors, claiming a betrayal of trust, with Standard General having allegedly spent $10 million chasing him to court. American Apparel's descent into financial ruin accelerated, culminating in bankruptcy filings in 2015 and 2016. Finally, in 2017, Gildan Activewear acquired the remnants of the billion-dollar empire for a paltry $88 million. This left many employees facing layoffs, with some going for weeks and weeks without pay, according to employee testimony. The situation serves as a compelling case study in cancel culture, raising questions about the balance between accountability and fairness. Was Charney unfairly targeted, his contributions to the industry overshadowed by his personal failings? Or did the accusations accurately reflect a pattern of abusive behavior that warranted his removal? And what was the role of the company itself in the unfolding drama? Chapter 6: The Legacy of American Apparel and the Dov Charney Paradox. Despite its tumultuous end, American Apparel's "Made in the USA" model left an undeniable mark on the industry. While few companies fully replicated Charney's approach, his commitment to domestic manufacturing and ethical production spurred some reconsideration of industry practices. Many competitors ultimately took advantage of some of the lessons learned from American Apparel's success without emulating the brand's ethical standards and focus on domestic production. Dov Charney's entrepreneurial spirit, however, did not fade with American Apparel's collapse. He founded Los Angeles Apparel, attempting to recreate his success but without the same explosive results. The two ventures, American Apparel and Los Angeles Apparel, offer a fascinating contrast in both business strategy and cultural impact, highlighting the successes and failures of the "Made in America" ethos. The Dov Charney paradox lies in the inherent contradictions that defined his career. He was simultaneously a visionary industrialist and a deeply flawed human being. His business acumen was undeniable. He built a billion-dollar brand from scratch, revolutionizing the apparel industry with his unwavering commitment to a specific ethical model and production process. But his personal failings, most notably the sexual harassment allegations, proved to be his ultimate undoing. His story forces a critical examination of the narrative surrounding his downfall, prompting broader conversations about business ethics, corporate responsibility, and the evolving complexities of cancel culture. Was he a genius, a visionary, a man of ethics and purpose, or was he a deeply flawed leader whose personal behavior ultimately destroyed his empire? Reconciling these seemingly disparate aspects of his character is the central challenge in understanding his enduring legacy. Epilogue. American Apparel, once a symbol of rebellious branding and ethical production, continues to exist, now under the ownership of Gildan Activewear. Los Angeles Apparel, under Dov Charney's continued leadership, remains a smaller, yet significant player. Charney's story, however, resonates far beyond the confines of the apparel industry. It serves as a cautionary tale, illustrating the precarious balance between visionary ambition and ethical conduct, and highlighting the often blurred lines of cancel culture. The story reminds us of the potential for both extraordinary success and catastrophic failure and the importance of ethical considerations within all aspects of business. It is a complex and multifaceted legacy that will continue to be debated and analyzed for years to come, prompting ongoing discussions about how we balance profit and social responsibility in the modern world.